Shalom, Kol Halim La Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And sincere Shalom to 144,001 Now this lesson is going to go into this debt, this thick clay that Esau has laid himself in. Before I dive deeper into that, they added this Dodge, Department of Government Efficiency, I believe. That's how it's abbreviated. Dodge Clock, the Department of Government Efficiency Advisory Commission, the real-time savings objective from reducing government waste, fraud, and abuse in federal government agencies. And I believe this is also a coin, meme coin, Dodge meme coin, if I'm not mistaken. And at the end of the day, this damn devil is laying the groundworks to usher in that MOTB. That's all this is. Now let's go to Habakkuk. This is Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? Yeah, Esau, America. America is not Esau's. Europe, Australia. Um, Esau has authority in Latin America, Canada. All right, these were all lands of the northern kingdom. All right, Gad, Reuben, Issachar on down. Those were the lands of Israel. And guess what? He increaseth which is not his. And there's going to be a repercussion to this devil's actions, the Hebrew Edomites' actions. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Now let's go into the Strongs for that word, those two words, thick clay. All right, primarily the clay part. You see, and it means a weight of pledges, heavy debts. All right, so this damn devil has laden himself with a lot of debt, and you see it right here, 36 trillion, and this is just the U.S. This doesn't factor in Canada and Europe, and New Zealand and Australia, South America, South Africa, Russia, and wherever else these devils have a footprint. Now let's go into a bank run, and we'll go more into this debt that has encompassed the world. What is a bank run? A bank run is when the customers of a bank or other financial institution withdraw their deposits at the same time over fears about the bank's solvency. As more people withdraw their funds, the probability of default increases, which in turn can cause more people to withdraw their deposits. In extreme cases, the bank's reserves may not be sufficient to cover the withdrawals. And guess what? I think it's the FDIC. They can only dish out, I believe, less than 10% if all the banks go down. So guess what? If these banks go down, man, and you got more than whatever they are capable of dishing out, you're screwed. All right? Now let's go into that word insolvency real quick. Solvency, the possession of assets in excess of liabilities, ability to pay one's debts. So guess what? The banks are not going to be able to pay off their debt. Why? Because the Heavenly Father has set it up this way. And there's going to be a lot of bank runs, all right? Defaults and bail-ins. Don't worry, I'm going to go over the defaults and the bail-ins too. And it's coming. Bank run. When a large group of depositors rush to withdraw their money from a bank deemed at a risk of going under. And we've seen this happen back in, I think, 2023. Had 2 or 3 banks collapse within a span of a couple months. I think it was 3 to 4 that are large banks go under. So this is what's coming. It's not going to stop. Trump is not going to make America great again, man. Let's get this right here. Jeremiah 51:9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reaches into heaven and lifted up even the sky. So your ICE agents won't have to get rid of some of these people, man. They're gonna go on their own free will because they're gonna see this place is going down. This what Trump is doing is not gonna boost America, man. Maybe it'll boost it for a short while, and then just speed up the collapse afterwards, like with these tariffs. I'm gonna do another video, Lord's will, on them tariffs, how they'll potentially backfire if he does do them. Now let's go into the default. Default, what it means, what happens when you default, and examples. What is a default? Default is the failure to make required interest or principal repayments on a debt, whether that debt is a loan or a security. Individuals, businesses, and even countries can default on their debt obligations. Default risk is an important consideration for creditors. So guess what? Esau's debt right there, he's cooked. The failure to make required interest or principal payments on a debt. In Babylon the Great, it's impossible for this place to pay off his debt. So that means it's gonna be a default. This place is over, man. It's just a matter, right now, as we say, it's done, Babylon's through, and it doesn't seem like that. Well, just wait. You're gonna see a massive shockwave, and these people are gonna be scared and fearful. This is Genesis 47-15. I'm not going to read the whole verse, just the main point I wanted. And when money failed in the land of Egypt, so that's my main point right there. So money failed in Egypt, it's going to fail in Egypt again. You're going to have hyperinflation. See, Esau's going to run this thing through the till the wheels come off. You're going to have hyperinflation. I think it's, what is that, Revelation 6 chapter? This place is going to receive hyperinflation. No doubt, it doesn't have to necessarily be hyperinflation. It can be hyper deflation, like what happened with the Great Depression. Might be a fourth chapter. Let's try the fifth. All right, let's go to the fourth. All right. So, in one of my previous videos, I broke down how the people, when they think of the Great Depression, they think it was hyper-inflammatory. No, it was hyper. Oh, it was Revelation 6 chapter. It was hyper deflation. It wasn't inflation, it was deflation. Now, what's on the table for Babylon the Great? Is it going to be hyperinflation? It's going to be hyper deflation? We'll find out. All right? What the keepers of the house are saying is hyperinflation. That's what the keepers of the house are saying. Revelation 6:6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And that could be hyperinflation or hyper deflation, because they both ultimately come down to the end goal where people can't afford their basic needs. All right. Now, speaking of the keepers of the house, Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, in verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. So all these economists, these traders, these hedge fund managers, all these guys and girls, guess what? They're going to tremble. And if some of them that are preppers, they're going to run to their little homesteads, their bunkers, or wherever else, all right, to try to escape this evil. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. So it's going to come a point in time, man, where things is gonna get real nasty. All right. Let's go into a bail-in. A bail-in, relief to a financial institution on the brink of failure by requiring the cancellation of debts owed to creditors and depositors. So they're gonna cancel their debts. So that's fucking bullshit, man. To cancel a debt. Excuse my tongue. So guess what? Esau can't cancel his debt with the Most High. All right. Esau cannot cancel his ultimate due, just dues. Now let's go to Jeremiah 50. Verse 16. Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. So guess what? Something's gonna go down. Babylon the Great. When you look at history, as kingdoms collapse and get worse, they create laws that afflict and oppress people. You see Trump passing laws now that are afflicting and oppressing people. Okay, so people are not gonna get jiggy with that, man. And guess what? You're gonna have these defaults, these bail-ins, these bank runs. A bail-in is a pressing sword, man. You canceling debts. Money is a sword, man. Money is a weapon. All the sword is a weapon. And you cancel somebody's debt, that's oppression. That's like somebody owes me $1,000, and then they cancel somebody that has rule over me and him cancels that $1,000 that man owes me. That's oppression, man. All right. Now let's end this off in Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, in verse 7. Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So guess what, man? When you have the U.S. debt, guess what? The U.S., since it's the global reserve currency, it can dump its, and it does dump its debt on the world. And that's what? Jeremiah 51 and 7, right there. Golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations are drunken of her wine. Yeah, global reserve status of the currency, the U.S. dollar, the Dixie. And guess what? As Babylon goes in a hyper-inflammatory state, all these other countries are going to feel a shock too. They're going to feel that shock wave. And that's it for the lesson. Auto one Rotterdam, edifying Shalom.